And while he's probably disappointed with 5th place,
Alright, hi everyone. We have a minute just with a break in action here. I just wanted to come on and let you know after that recent elimination of Tony Roberto, I'm going to give you some updated chip counts real quick. Andrew in the 1 seat has 2.8 million. Bradley has 475,000. Dave Stefanski is just a little over $1 million now, and after winning that last spot and eliminating Tony Roberto, he actually has, Andy now has just over $1 million as well. So Andrew with 2.8 chip lead, but definitely now that we're down to 4, the stacks are getting a little bit more even, and now we'll go back to Chris. Thanks.
thanks, Molly, you're the best. Now we know that while Andrew Dean still has the significant chip lead at 2.8 million, he's facing some competition now. Stefanski at 1 million, Kaplan at 1 million, and Yaziki at about 475,000. And I think, these are the players that have played really well today. Yaziki has been taking a few more risks. Stefanski has been really very careful and solid but aggressive. Kaplan waited, bided his time, and found the right spots and got double ups. And Dean has used his big stack a little bit, but has been pretty cautious with it because he hasn't needed to play a lot of hands. No reason to risk your stack when you've got that many chips. I think a lot of people get a big stack and then tend to blow it off. And when you see the very best players get a big stack, they will use the big stack some, but at a final table they're not willing to let that big stack go until they've either got a big advantage in a hand or really moved up the ladder a bunch of payout spots first. So all 4 of these players have played really well today. Turn down Molly's typing noise in the background there. And we are up to 15:30.
Tim, thank you.
But the Annies did stay at 4,000, so we won't be racing off the 1K chips quite yet. And we've got a real poker game now. Things get a little different when the stacks get a little more even. The two stacks of 1 million, Andy Kaplan and David Stefanski, do have to be a little more careful when playing hands with Dean, because there's another short stack that can go out before them in Yaziki, and that's a $9,000, $10,000 jump from fourth to third. So nobody wants to go out before that happens. But Stefanski is not afraid of that. I would think Stefanski is the most likely to be willing to tangle here with Yaziki or with Dean. Yaziki seems like he may be willing to tangle. He's been sort of willing to tangle all day. I believe between these four players we have more than $5 million in winnings previous to this event. So this is a strong Final Four. And yes, I did use the Final Four reference intentionally. It is going to be some fine basketball this weekend too. Alright, we got the blinds seeing a flop in a raised pot. So Kaplan using some of those chips. A little bit of stutter from the Foxwoods end in the video here, but overall the feeds have been fairly smooth from them. Kaplan gonna bet that flop. Since I believe he raised pre-flop and didn't just limp in, I would bet essentially any flop. Against a guy like Dean, it doesn't make sense to check a monster flop and bet everything else. He's gonna see right through that. And that must have been a raise because we're not seeing a turn card yet. I don't think Dean is raising without a hand here. He's got to have at least a 7 or a club draw, or a 6 or a club draw. Doesn't make sense the way he's been playing all day for him to just raise any bet here, although a good player will once in a while use his solid image to steal the pot when he doesn't think his opponent has anything. But I don't think Dean is putting in chips without a hand there. I think he's got something. And Kaplan thought so too. If you're watching from somewhere else in the country and haven't been to Foxwoods, make the journey. I had been to kind of all of the other major poker rooms in the country before I went to Foxwoods, and I wish I had gone to Foxwoods sooner. It's a really nice room. An incredible number of games. 5-10 PLO and PLO 8 mix was running one night. Really wide range of games. When you have over 100 tables running, you will find that kind of crazy mix of games, anything you could want. There were lots of limit games and a few mixed games and stud games. The East Coast has long been host to lots of stud games. And then, of course, a wide variety of no limit and limit hold'ems games, and then tournaments every day. And it's really a great room. And in the cash room, there's actually a very good poker kitchen, which is, I know, usually an oxymoron. It's rare to say good poker kitchen, and very rare for me to say it. I'm not one of those people who spend so much time in casinos that I think casino food is ever really good, but in this case the poker kitchen that's right next to the poker room was fast and easy, and the food was good. I just can't come up with anything bad to say about Foxwoods. I even had fantastic barbecue in Hartford when I was there at, what's that place called? Bears? Something like that. I had a really good barbecue when I was in Hartford for that trip. It was fun. Didn't cash in the PPC event, but had a lot of fun. And the PPC is doing events in all these Mega Stack challenges coming up. There will be a PPC event where you can win not only a bunch of money, but a trip to Aruba to play in the PPC National Championship in Aruba, which is a fantastic event. Amazing how much fun that event was when I went this year, and probably the best 2-5 cash games I've ever played. Everybody was having fun, everybody was drinking, and very few people could play at all, and boy, those games were good and fun. And nothing cures tilt better than taking a walk down the beautiful beach in Aruba. Take a couple of beats in the 2-5 game, and I'll be back in a few minutes and go walk off down the beach for a while. Come back feeling better from that, I'll tell you. Seeing what looks like a three-way flop here. And Kaplan in the big blind leading out after Stefanski checks. Yaziki thinking about it. He's going to make the call. Stefanski also making the call. A three-way turn. I'm not sure we've seen a three-way turn at this final table. Certainly haven't seen one in a while. And then it checks around on the turn. And whoever was in the lead probably really hates that ace fell. Stefanski, this might be a fine place to bluff, but I think he's probably got something here. Could be that he had a hand like 9-10 and was bluffing, but I think he has it. I think he at least had an ace and could have had a hand like 7-9, or could have even flopped a set there. My apologies for missing so much of the action. I'm trying to watch the chat and the Twitter and keep the things running smoothly and talk to Molly, and I've got too many things going on here. I see why they do commentary with two people and a sideline reporter, and I already have people signed on to do that with us. All right. We have signed on to help us with commentary when we're ready to do these broadcasts like we mean it. We've signed on Tannen Grace, who is the face of the HPL, which is the Hearthstone League. Well known on Twitch, has been on-screen talent for a number of gaming and poker enterprises, and is a really good guy and a semi-pro poker player, and very knowledgeable about Twitch and gaming in general. And he's going to be fantastic to have doing commentary with us when Molly is not available, or when Molly is doing the reporting and sideline reporting like she's doing today. Looks like we have an all-in. We've got Andrew Dean and Brad Yaziki. Dean with the chip lead, but with the queen threes behind. And it would be hard for him to get a piece of it now. So, assuming I read that correctly, and the cards were placed correctly, and Yaziki is the one with the queen jack of clubs, he will double through Andrew Dean, which won't hurt Dean all that much. Yaziki did not have a lot of chips. And in addition, we've also signed on Ruben Bressler, who is probably the most well-known Magic the Gathering reporter, and also a semi-pro poker player. Has done reporting for the Mark Hope Show for quite some time. I've worked with Ruben in the past. Ruben actually came out and did a PPC Poker Tour event with me in Wisconsin. So I know that I like working with Ruben a lot, and that's part of the reason we brought him in.
That just happened, and I'm going to be posting it on Foxwoods Poker in just a few minutes, but I did want to confirm that your assumption was correct, that he was awarded a full double. That's Bradley Yaziki. He's the one that was holding the queen jack of clubs and hit the queen on the turn. They both hit queens, obviously, but he had the higher kicker. So I'll be back to bring you guys some updated chip counts very shortly, but he did just for, I think it was about 250,000, so he's a little over 500.
Thanks, Molly. So Bradley Yaziki's up over 500,000 now. Of course, that's not a lot of breathing room when the big blind is 30,000. But it does keep him alive for a little longer. He was getting below 10 big blinds there for a while, so the queen jack of clubs was probably an easy hand to go with for him. Addressing a couple other things in the chat. I know the sound was off briefly. Just hit the cough button and it stayed on for a second on my mic. I know the cameras aren't great. We're working on getting better cameras. That's not really us. That's not a blind straddle thing. We can't control that, but we are working on it, and hopefully we can just send them some better cameras at Foxwoods, or have a better camera set up there soon, and also a better computer where we can stream in a little higher resolution, because these cameras can do a little more than they're doing right now. So we'll see what we can do for future broadcasts to get that video quality up. And then Molly's mic needs to be raised up. Eric from Vegas commented, and that is a function of just the fact that this is a very fly-by-night beta test of getting this thing up and running, and we just weren't prepared to do this event all the ways that we would like to be prepared. Ideally, I'd like to be in Connecticut handling all this stuff, but I'm in Minnesota doing a remote broadcast while Molly is there, and so I have to turn Molly up in my speakers to get her into my mic when she comes through. That's part of the problem. We'll have that problem addressed before too long. And Molly just naturally speaks a little quietly too, but we're working on that with her as well. I'll get her a mic like the one that I've got that's got lots of gain on it, so that she doesn't have to be right next to it and can still pick her up clearly. I'm taking notes on all these things, by the way. When you guys bring these things up, I appreciate it, because we're taking notes on everything that's happening to figure out how we can get these broadcasts to be the best that we possibly can. There's all kinds of things I've already taken notes on how to fix in future broadcasts, and times when we should be looking for solutions, problems we should be looking for solutions to.
Yeah, can I see the cards that are drawn? Thank you. Thanks.
All right. That is exactly, that's perfect, Molly. So Andrew Dean with 2 pair, winning a little pot from Dave Stefanski, who had an ace. And Foxwoodspoker.com is where Molly's blogging and reporting is going up about this event. She's did coverage on that last hand. She's done coverage on a number of new hands, a number of specific hands. And I'm going to be pasting in links to some of the events that are coming up on Foxwoods. Get Foxwoods. And here's a link to the next Mega Stack series. The production staff is back with lunch too. This day just gets better and better. Actually, that last link I posted wasn't to the Mega Stack series. It was to a different thing, which we will talk about here in a minute. The link I'm posting in the chat right now. Why is that not posting? Something going strange here.
Wait a second, I just heard the production staff out there where you guys are just brought lunch. Can I request to have her bring some as well to Foxwoods?
Yeah, we'll have that shipped out for you, no problem.
I'm going to be posting pretty quickly some updated chip counts after that recent double. So stay tuned.
Sorry you missed some of Molly there. She was requesting lunch as well. If anyone's at Foxwoods, bring Molly lunch.
Also, Fox, sorry to keep interrupting you guys, but I noticed that that you guys are going to be talking about and posting the Big 50 event. I'm not sure how much time you've had to look over that. Sorry, I'm so close to the camera. I'm trying to speak louder without interrupting the players behind me, but it's a really, really cool event. Each player is allowed 1 re-entry per flight. It's a $150 buy-in with a $75,000 guarantee. There are 6 starting flights, and I would definitely recommend anyone in the area definitely take a look at this and how the structure works, and I think it's going to be a huge event. Last year, the last time they ran it, they blew away the guarantee, so this time it's sure to be a huge event. So definitely, if you get a chance, check out that link. Going to be a huge event coming up. Thanks.
Thanks, Molly. I am going to look into that event, and we'll talk about it a little bit before this final table is done. That looks interesting to me. There in the chat is the actual link to the Mega Stacks series that's coming up. Those are always good. That's what I went out and played last time. They have a wide variety of events there, and that's the link to the whole schedule. Looks like a very interesting series, and it's not far away. And then the event that Molly was talking about, the Foxwoods Poker Big 50 event, which I also posted a link in the chat. $150 no limit hold'em, 1 re-entry per flight, $75K guaranteed with 6 flights. You win a $75K guaranteed, and they'll blow away the guarantee, they always do, for $150. That's fantastic. And 20,000 starting stacks. That's a really good tournament. That's really solid. And each flight, they're gonna play down to 12%. Everybody after 12% gets paid, and the top 6% will return for day 2, which gives you a chance to play lots of starting flights. And the blind level, when you get to day 2, will roll back so that it's an average of 50 big blinds. So you get a little bit more reasonable, kind of faster structure on the first day, on all 6 day ones, and then you roll back to 50 big blind average and go to 30-minute blinds on day 2. If you qualify on day 2 more than once, they have a stack buyback. I love this concept. These have done really well in Minnesota and have made me a bunch of money, so I'm an extra big fan. Each time you make it through day 2 again, you get an extra $500 and you play your biggest stack. So you sell back your smaller stack for $500. That's great for, if you make it through the first day with a short stack, you can play again. And if you make it through with a big stack, not only do you increase your stack size, but you get $500. Looks like a fun event. And that is what's the date on that thing? April 3rd and 4th. 3 flights a day, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. on April 3rd and April 4th. That's Sunday, Monday. And then April 5th is a Tuesday. Day 2 will be on that day, April 5th. Maybe a little distracted. I have bacon, cheese, and beef. Huge thanks to our production and catering staff here. Done a great job. So there are links in the chat to that Big 50 event, as well as the Mega Stack series. And the Mega Stack series has a mountain of guarantees. Every event is guarantees, except for the bounty and the ladies. Starts off with a $600 multi-day event with a $250,000 guarantee. There's a $250 Omaha, 8 or better. Geez, I should almost fly out for this thing. You may see me at this event. This looks really good, especially seeing all the alternate games. I seem to do better in those. I'm not very good at hold'em, apparently. That Mega Stacks event looks excellent. That is from May 6th to May 16th. It'll be a nice tune-up for the World Series, too. Probably the last series that just about anybody runs before the World Series. A lot of places kind of shut down. Nobody runs a big tournament series during the World Series unless they're in Vegas. But right up until the World Series area tournaments, and this looks like one of the last ones of the season. Looks like Molly's back. Hey, Molly.
Fox, I just overheard you say on the stream that you were thinking about coming out and guessing for the Mega Stacks Challenge, and I would wholeheartedly approve that decision. I will also be out here for at least the first part of it. It actually conflicts with another event. The main event of Mega Stacks conflicts with the previous event that was already scheduled to work, but I will be out here in the area and maybe even play a few events myself, but definitely helping with the coverage as well. So we should talk more seriously about that and maybe do some more live commentary for some of the future tables. So just an idea for going forward.
Thanks, Molly. See how that all works out. I'm always happy to go out to Foxwoods. Let's get back and check on our chat on. Looks like no significant chat questions or discussion on the broadcast right now.